What would you do if your king asked you to carry his heart into battle? Not a metaphor, not a symbol, his actual embalmed heart in a silver casket around your neck. August 25th, 1330, Spain. A Scottish knight stands surrounded by hundreds of enemy cavalry. He reaches up and removes the casket from around his neck. He looks at it one final time, and then he throws it. What happened next will haunt you forever. His name was Sir James Douglas, born around 1286 in Scotland. The English called him the Black Douglas, not because of his appearance, but because of what he did in the dark. Douglas was one of Scotland's most feared warriors. He specialized in night raids, silent, brutal, unstoppable. English mothers used his name to frighten children into bed. "Hush now, or the Black Douglas will come for you." He had fought alongside William Wallace, he had bled for Robert the Bruce, and he had sworn an oath of absolute loyalty, an oath that would define the way he died. By 1329, Robert the Bruce was dying. The great warrior king of Scotland lay broken by illness. Some said it was leprosy, some said it was the accumulated wounds of 30 years of war. Whatever it was killing him slowly. Bruce had one unfulfilled dream. He had always wanted to go on crusade to Jerusalem, to fight for the Holy Land. His wars with England had made that impossible. On his deathbed, Bruce made a final request. He asked Douglas to take his heart to Jerusalem after death, to fight one last battle, even if only his heart could be there. Douglas agreed instantly, immediately, without hesitation, because that is what loyalty meant in the 14th century. After Bruce died, his heart was removed and embalmed, placed in a small silver casket, decorated with intricate carvings. Douglas hung it around his neck on a heavy chain and began the long journey to Jerusalem. He traveled from Scotland through England, through France, and into Spain. Everywhere he went, people stared at the silver casket. They knew what it contained. They knew the story behind it. But Douglas never reached Jerusalem. In Spain, he made a fateful decision. The Spanish king, Alfonso XI, was fighting the Moorish armies. Douglas chose to join the battle. He would fight for Christ here, he decided, and carry Bruce's heart into this holy war. The Battle of Taba, August 25th, 1330. Douglas and his Scottish knights rode into battle, but the Spanish forces retreated unexpectedly. Douglas found himself completely surrounded. Moorish cavalry closed in from every direction. He had only seconds to decide. He could surrender, he could try to fight his way out, or Douglas reached up and grabbed the silver casket. He unclasped it from his neck. He looked at it one final time, and he hurled it into the thickest mass of enemy soldiers. He screamed, "Lead on, Braveheart! I will follow thee!" And he charged alone into hundreds of enemies, fighting his way toward where the casket had fallen, cutting, slashing, refusing to stop until he could not move any more. When the battle ended, Scottish soldiers searched the field for Douglas. They eventually found him. His body was lying face down in the dirt, multiple spear wounds in his back. He had been overwhelmed from behind, but underneath his body, pressed against the earth by his final weight, was the silver casket. He had reached it. He had died covering it, protecting his king's heart with his own body. Even in death, he did not let it fall. Both Douglas and Bruce's heart were returned to Scotland. Bruce's heart was buried at Melrose Abbey. Douglas was buried at St. Bride's Kirk. Two warriors, one oath, one impossible ending. The English feared him in life. They called him the Black Douglas. But in his final moment, he became something else entirely. He was the most loyal man who ever lived. Subscribe, because history's darkest stories are just beginning.